Let's see. Maybe it'll clear up. I don't know. We'll give it a try. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm assuming that my connection is buffering like crazy right now, but I'm still going to try to do a bit of a stream here. I will cross my fingers that things will clear up a little bit and we will be able to have a nice smooth stream. But in case it doesn't, I am going to keep trying to go. Awesome, thanks Roller. Yeah, not as bad as it was doesn't necessarily mean it's any good. Oh, I'm in a temporal distortion. Well, that's good to know. Here I thought there was a problem. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is actually a pull request that we received that is a fairly good one. It is comprehensive, and it does pretty much what we wanted to do. So I am fairly happy about this. Hang on. Save that. Okay, so first off, I want to say thank you for sending in this pull request. It is actually a very good one. Has a lot of stuff and is mostly centered around fixing the things that I kept going, I don't like this, we're going to need to fix this later. So I love that you took that and said, hey, this is what actually fixes that, and did it. So awesome job, thank you, much appreciated. Essentially, what was done for this pull request is a restructuring of the code. So moving around the files and tweaking the interaction between the different parts so that instead of having them linked together, because you might have remembered I was like, oh, I don't want to have this do this, but I can wire it together for now and then I don't have to go rip it apart. Well, the nice part is that one of our viewers went ahead and ripped all the code apart and put it back together, which is neat. So thank you for spending an evening taking a look at this. Changed 35 files, and we're going to have a look at these today. So the big change that was made, let's take a look at actually the code structure over here first, because I think that'll get you a better idea of what's going on. So previously, inside of our JS section, we had most of the files just right inside of Wasteful Game. We have added a little bit more structure to that now. There's now the Wasteful, which is our game class. This is our main one right here. This is pretty much the same, but a couple of things have changed about how it works. An entity manager was created, and this is for all of the things that appear on the map. So these are the things that appear in the game. So that's what an entity is in this nomenclature, which we'll see whether we keep that name or not. It's fairly generic, but I think it does the job. Entities have a couple of things about them, and so there is actually a whole folder of entity files. I'll talk about those in a minute so we can discuss how that works, but this is what was sent in. The other thing was a quick JS doc was done on this, so the basic IntelliSense style info is able to show up here. So this is some basic comments on each of the methods so that we have a little bit of information about it, a little bit of metadata about the code. So anyway, the entity manager is keeping track of all the entities, and you just add them in, and this says, hey, which ones are, which one's at that location, get them by type. So this could be like finding the ones that are simple zombies, or finding the ones that are players, or things like that. And that's the concept of what a class, like what type they could be. And we're doing that by checking whether they are an instance of whatever type. So that's get first by class, and this is get all by class. So he grabbed the find method, which is essentially like a first or default for any of our C# viewers. The other thing is put back the movable piece that we wanted to have before, but we ripped out temporarily. So added in the concept of components. So I will talk about that when we talk about entities. The other big thing that's added in here that I like is usage. No, it's jittery for everyone. Yeah, sorry about that. For some reason it's dropping frames right now, and I don't know what the deal is with that. Anyway, so added in a mediator using the Mediator Pattern. Just called it the Mediator for now rather than actually giving a specific name, but that's fine. Makes it really clear what the pattern is. So think of this, the Mediator Pattern, for those of you who don't know, doesn't always get used with the name Mediator. Sometimes it is so the Mediator is kind of like having a class on your eventing structure. So this is like you have an important class that manages the concepts of the interactions between your various other classes. So that's a very simple explanation of what the Mediator design pattern is. So it's essentially like if you did a domain events pattern before, it's kind of like that, except you have a specific class designed for handling this type of interaction. So the concept here was to fix the thing that I was complaining about in the last stream, where I was saying I didn't like the fact that the players and the zombies and the player, like all these things actually know about each other. So the Mediator is the way of getting rid of that. Essentially the idea is that you subscribe and unsubscribe from sets of events, and then other things can publish events. So if we take a look how some of that interaction works, let's jump over here. So entity, I mentioned to you that everything was going to be an entity now, everything that's shown on the screen. Where is it? So entity doesn't have it, but player will. So if we look at usages of the Mediator by the player, you'll see that it gets imported here. So it subscribes to... Why isn't this turned on? Hang on a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I want to get word wrap on so that we can actually see some of these. Okay, it subscribes to the movable component message blocked. So if we open up the movable component, this is basically extracted out our movement logic, and this is move and blocked. So movable component message blocked. And inside of the player, we did movable component messages blocked. So essentially the idea is your movable component exports out a symbol. And now I actually have to explain what a symbol is to the non-JavaScript developers in the room. So if you don't know ES6 and you don't know JavaScript, essentially the idea with a symbol is it's kind of like making a unique key. So this symbol, defined by entity movable component blocked, this creates a key that we don't actually, as the developer, we do not actually get to see this value. This is a unique value that this creates. It is of type symbol, and it will not equal another one. So if I make this, if I make blocked 2, and I create it the exact same way, just like this, right? These two are not equal. So it's essentially like creating one, and this is the name I used to create it, but that doesn't really matter. I made a new one. If I wanted to get that, I would have to say, like, what is it, symbol 4? And now these are the same symbol, I think is the idea. And these will be equal. But you don't really want to use this. That's pointless. What you want to do is make one of these, store it in a constant or a variable or something like that, and then you can use this as a unique key. So anything that has this, that uses this, is going to be using this unique key defined by this value. So essentially it makes a unique constant that we know nothing else matches. So we can't accidentally have two constants that happen to be the same. It makes it unique. So that's the idea there. I did totally undo that change I made, right? I think. I'll open up GitHub just in case to check. Movable component. I removed a comma. Okay. So there's the idea with that. So when we use this mediator in here inside of the movable component, it's going to be way down here. When we attempt to move, so movement takes place, what's the difference between that and an enum? So Will Bennett, the only big difference is that the enum value is pretty much known and we could accidentally stumble upon it. So an enum value of like a 0 or a 1 or something like that. And yeah, and JavaScript. Yeah, I think, well, but like why is this different from an enum in C#? I think is really the question there that Will's asking. But this is the idea. Wow, I dropped down to 0. I apparently am dropping all my frames right now. Yep. Yeah, Mihai TV. This part isn't C#. This is the JavaScript. Okay, so here's the deal. Mediator, publish, move. So the idea is when we attempt to move, we check the grid and say, hey, can we move to that location? If we can, we publish a move action saying, hey, we're doing a move. So anybody that's watching for a move is going to get this message. We're going to say that this entity is moving, so that's the source. And then we're going to say from its current location to the new location. So we're basically publishing an event saying, hey, by the way, this guy's moving from here to here, just thought you should know. And then we're going to say if event.process this entity set location. So I think that's an if this succeeds, then you go ahead and set the new location and set the result to be true. So when we return, we'll say, yep, true, this movement succeeded. And down here, this is the other side of if we can move. So this means there was something in the way, something we can't move to. We're then going to publish a blocked action. So we're going to say movable component was blocked. We're going to say this is the entity that was blocked from here trying to go here. So if we look at what was watching this symbol, we'll find a couple of places. So first off, the player, you'll see we bound move to blocked. This on move. So this means that we had a target. So entity manager, get at that location. And act upon whatever the target is. So that's basically saying, hey, we ran into something, do whatever the running into it should have. That's the concept there. Yeah, I know we're dropping frames. It is bad right now. I don't know why the network's giving us trouble here. Let's see. Clear that. Don't need to see that anymore. Okay, so this said, hey, we want to attack something, so let's grab our attacking component. An attacking component just so that we get the idea. Player has an attacking component, because players can attack. Their range and their damage are in here. The entity is going to be itself, essentially. That's its own entity. And we're going to say attack a target, so we're going to attack something. And this is going to then publish, hey, I'm attacking, this is who's attacking, this is who I'm targeting, this is how much damage I do. So then an attackable component is going to publish its takedown, is dead, is alive. Hang on. Enemies, here we go. Let's look at an example of that. So inside of the simple zombie, we have... whoops, that's the spawnable. Where did... Hang on. That should be in here. Where's enemy? Is it in the wrong folder? Oh, up here. Abstracts. Sorry, wrong folder. This is the one I meant to open. So, if we look at the enemy, it's looking for attackable, not attacking. Yeah, isn't that what I said? That's why that's why I looked at the attackable component. I think I pulled up the right thing, Boxy Babe. I might have misspoken. Anyway, so, if you take a look at enemy, you will see a couple of things. First off, an enemy, like a player, it has a bunch of components to it. So the player, if we take a look, has movable, attackable, and attacking. Because a player can be attacked, it can attack something else, and it can move around the board. If we take a look at an enemy, you'll see that enemies can move, they are attackable, they can attack themselves, and they have this autonomous component, which I love the name, by the way. This is actually the perfect name for what it is doing here. So an attackable component is essentially like saying this is an autonomous component is something that can act on its own. It has autonomy. So that is a great word for it. So the idea is any item that could move around the map, whether it be an enemy or something else, if it can move, it is an autonomous component. And essentially what we're going to do is we are going to call the autonomous components, a couple of times. So if I do a quick search, you'll see that autonomous component gets used in a handful of places. For example, on the level, we use it here. So inside of level, we do this. In our update, so every time you take a turn, and I'm going to pull up the game so you guys can see what I'm talking about, because I know some of you don't know what this game is right now because you might be new to the stream. We call update every action, and this updates what's going on in the level. So part of that is it goes and it grabs all of the autonomous components, entities with autonomous components, I should say. So any entity that is autonomous, essentially, it's going to go ahead and grab that, and it's going to tell it, hey, go ahead and take your turn. When it does that, what we're going to do is we're essentially going to call take turn on an autonomous component. Now, when we create this on the entity, you'll see that it does two things. It creates the autonomous component, which it assigns to that. It gives it the game object so that it can be talking back to our wasteful.js class, but it also passes in itself. So that means that it has access to the enemy the whole time, even though we are inside of this autonomous component. We then tell it the number of, the turns, which let me show you where that is. Where was I? I was in level. We tell it, hey, go ahead and take turn. Since this guy takes one turn at a time, because that was passed in as a parameter in the zombie class right here, turns 1, So because we passed it in with a single turn, it only takes one turn. So what we will do in the autonomous components, which do I still have that up? Nope. So I will just open it. Autonomous component, it's right here. So when I take a look at this, what it does is it takes, first off, we mentioned the game, the entity, and the number of turns to take. And we said current turn is 0. And then when we say take turn, we say if current turn is less than turns minus 1, increase the current turn, return false. If current turn is less than turns minus 1. Is it turns to wait? Maybe that's to slow them down. We might need to change that name then, because I had interpreted that the other way. Anyway, so reset current turn, event, mediator, publish autonomous turn. So essentially this fires off the turn taking of that. Which, if I open up zombie, hang on, where is this? This should fire that it was a turn taken. So enemy subscribed to turn, here it is, and we said on turn on the enemy. So essentially the idea is it is the autonomous component that gets a turn. So the autonomous component is allowed to take an action within the game. And so it is called when its turn to act happens. Because this autonomous component is an enemy, it has subscribed to that turn event. So that's what this is. And then we have that bound to our onTurn method function. And that's this here. So this takes in the event details, which again, you'll remember when we fired this, we said source is this entity. So that's going to be us, our object. The from location is going to be, whoops, that's the wrong thing. Autonomous component, turn, where's turn? Source is this entity, so we're saying, hey, I'm the one that's moving. So we're saying, hey, let me just make sure that we have on our event arguments with a source that is this. So it says, if you got this event and it wasn't you, ignore it. So this is like saying, make sure it's me, because I shouldn't be acting when it's someone else's turn. Trundle, This project, neither technically. We do use React in here, and we use Vue on another project. Though that's irrelevant to what we're doing here. Okay. So here's the idea. So this is like our safety check. Make sure that it's you that you're reacting to, which is part of the problem with having the mediator call back to make this happen, is that we do have to make sure that we check and say, hey, it's me, right? It's me. I would like it if we could, and this might be a harder one to be able to do at some point, but it would be cool if we could subscribe in such a way that did this check on the server. So if you want to subscribe to only your own ones, that would be really cool if you could be like, hey, only call it if it's actually me. So those checks happened on the mediator. But that's a little harder to implement. In this case, we check to see if we have a spawnable component on this object. If we do, then it checks to see if we have spawned. So the idea is, on our zombies, they start out as a gravestone and then eventually appear on the board. So we check to see, hey, did you have a spawn? Are you a spawner? If you are, wait, don't appear yet. Just go to your next stage, and then return. But if you're not spawning, or if your spawning is finished, then go ahead and skip this. So the idea is that a zombie will always have a spawnable component, but once it has spawned, we'll skip it because this is here. Then we say grab the player object from the game and go ahead and see if you can attack the player, go ahead and attack it. So that is what the attacking component is for. We're going to say user attacking component, attack the player. Otherwise, use your movable component to move towards a target. So moving towards a target is something that just got baked into the movable component, which is useful because that means that we can have things move towards targets that are not the player. We already sort of had that, but this kind of builds in that idea, and it also pulls the movement logic into movable component instead of having that on our zombies. So let's take a look at what that looks like, because I know what that false means, because I looked at this code earlier. So move towards target. So if we take a look at that right here, you will see that move towards target takes in this parameter that we set to false, and it's called advanced. So advanced is whether or not we're going to do smart movement. So the idea is the zombie's not smart, so we don't ever want to improve its pathfinding. So zombies are going to bump into a wall, and that's fine. It's a zombie. It's dumb. The zombie sees you on the other side of something, it's going to try to get straight to you. It's not going to be like, oh, it's actually easier if I go around there. It's going to try to go straight to you. Zombies, not smart. So if we take a look at this, you'll see, this is my favorite part about this, the true scenario, so if advanced, to do A-star pathfinding. Throw new advanced pathfinding is not implemented yet, which I love because it's not implemented yet, and that was definitely out of scope of a restructure, so I'm glad you didn't add that in here. We definitely don't need that in here yet, but we still have our old simple, like, just ordered move thing. Eventually it'd probably be good if we switch this so that it will try to go up or down, either way. If one of them is possible and improves its distance to the player, then we'll call that good, and we'll let him go either X or Y, so either one. And then this is the basic movement stuff. So the nice part is that gets all the movement to be the same, whether you are the player or the zombie. I'll say JC, welcome, thanks for following, glad you're here. Okay, so I think that explains most of it. I did notice a small issue when testing it, not that we didn't have some issues in the original code to begin with anyway. Hang on, let me go ahead and run it. So we're gonna do that, and then over here. Wait, derp. Did not type my command correctly. Did that start? Nope, hang on. Alright, so we're going to run this code, and yes, the nice thing is that .NET Core, I do not have to run this in Visual Studio with all the runners and everything like that. So there's the bot, it just connected into the Twitch chat, and you can see that in the little output message here. It says Twitch chat client connected right behind my head, right there, because it started up the background worker and connected. And I'm about to find out if the website is going or not. and it's going to yell at me because I don't actually have the pieces set up to be able to make that secure right now, but that's fine. So we're going to say, there we go. Hey, look, the bug actually happened. That's perfect. So this is the thing that I wanted to mention, which is, it's weird because you can have the exit right on top of a, so I have no way to escape. I cannot get out. There's no escape for me. All I can do now is die. Game over. No escape. There's no escape. Also, it seems like points aren't quite there yet. Horkrine, yeah, stream is lagging. Sorry about that, everyone. I can't make it work better. Hopefully, it's coming in clearly enough for people to mostly notice it. To people mostly not notice it and just have it work. Okay. There's a death trap right here. Okay, so that's awesome. So that's perfect. That's about the worst way that you could die right there. I am totally trapped in this little spot over here. There is nothing I can do. There's going to be zombies spawning in here with me. And that's just going to be like massive, massive death. Hi, zombies. I wonder how many I can get on the screen all at once. Also, I seem to not be able to kill the spawners, which is a bit of a problem. Yeah, doesn't let me kill the spawners, which is kind of weird. 49 points. Nice. Okay. So let's have a look. Only when their head is visible. That's weird, Boxy Baby, because I think their head was visible when I was trying to kill them there. But we'll take a look. Either way, hopefully the stream's going well enough that people can kind of see some stuff. Alright. It's disappointing. I was hoping for a nice stream on Twitch today, but it's not going as well as I'd like. Okay, so that's the basic state of all that stuff. I'm gonna hide the running code down here. Actually, why don't I kill it for now? Die, bot. There we go. Shutdown requested. So first off, let's take a look at level. So when level gets created, the first little issue that I wanted to solve was our exit tile appeared on top of a barrel. Or maybe the other way around, I'm not sure. Either way, that is definitely a problem. Hello, welcome. Greetings. So, level, not update, not spawn zombie. Where next? Here we go. So, level next. Big fan of the way this part works. Just that it is a next method on the level that will just go ahead and set the level to be the next one. So we clear out the entities that are in the system. Before we do that, we grab our previous exit. This was already keeping track of the player separately so that we could add the player back in. We're coding a roguelike game. Okay, so the game entity manager add this .player, so we add the player back in first. We set the player at the old exit location at point 0 on the left and lined up with that. We increase the level number. We come down here and set location to random for our zombies, and that's based on the number we have for each level. We're adding in the items for the level. In this case, there's only going to be one, but we're going to put it in somewhere. Then we're going to create these barrels. Hey, Ancient Coder. Hey, Coated Beard. Welcome. So that create barrel fire, barrel, get random, open location seems to be what's wrong. So let's take a look at how get random location works. Over in the grid. So was that already in the grid or not? So here's the problem. When we create, hang on, so when we create a new, if you create the exit before the other objects, yes, exactly. The exit was created down here. This is the new exit. Yep, that's the idea. Player in the exit created first. Then it should go away. We'll still have the problem of being able to be trapped with no way to get to the next level. Which, again, the code still did that before because we have not built in the structures nor a path checking to make sure that we can reach the end. Idea, when zombies touch, they merge into super zombies. I don't think so, Twitchloff. I'm probably not going to go that route. Okay. Let me go ahead and we're going to start that again. Welcome, Mirhadas, I'm guessing. But let me know if I totally butchered your name, and I will attempt to do it better the next time. Waiting for a file to change before restarting .NET. It says it's still in use. So apparently it didn't die completely last time. Hang on while I totally kill this thing. Alright, I think I got it dead. Let's find out. There we go. Alright, I got it totally killed. Welcome. You're from Turkey. Hello. Greetings. And, Jumpack Coding. Welcome. Thank you for following. Glad you're both here. Much appreciated for those follows. Bot should be in here. Please be sure to check out our Discord, everyone. And all the code we're doing here is out on GitHub. Since the bot's here, I figure why not press those couple of buttons and have that go through. Feel free to join our Discord. That is a great place to discuss with me and other members of the DevChatter community. Let me go ahead and localhost us again. So there we go. Gonna go ahead and request this again, and actually I'm gonna put that auto start on the end. So there's the game. So I can see a zombie up there, and he just walked over my sword like a jerk. Okay. I cannot escape. So how many points can I get before I die, I wonder? There we go. That's how many points I can get before I die, apparently. Okay. This died on level 2 with 48 points. Okay, so this is the basic concept. So we should not be seeing... We keep seeing these incompletable levels, so we need to fix that. So first off, let me get this fix out to the pull request. You don't even know, Mir Hatads, this game can actually be controlled through chat, not just through me pressing those keys. So create, C, fix, exit on obstacle bug. I will send that one out to you there. So we're gonna get that PR fixed for that. Because that does need to be in there. And then other than that, I think I'm probably good with merging this in. It's a significant change. So let's go ahead and well, actually, I can't merge it in yet because I just sent out that bug fix. But let's get that in there. For now, we can work on a branch off of that. So any changes we make will commit to a branch off of this, and then that will make it so that when we do the merge, our code is already fixed up to be on the new one. Okay, so let's do this. root JS enemy level creation. So okay, exit message is exit symbol. Actually, you know, I just remembered something. When I was looking at the item types, where is it? It's inside of level builder. Level building, item builder, right in here. There's one thing I noticed. So pizza, whoops, did not mean to click that. We had, see, sword, axe, baseball bat, black can, pizza, taco. So black can was worth points, but I wanted to be worth both health and points. So I should just need to do this. Health 1, and then item effect points and health. Can I get away with that? Sprite? No. Can I have multiples? There's got to be a way to have multiples, right? Item types are inside items. On top, you can just add an extra object, like for the exit item, which provides health and points. Where did the exit item get created? Exit item. Oh, in level. So exit item gets created in level. So look at how it's created in here. So it takes an array of item types. So if I take a look over here, an effect item, so effect item will have derp, don't press buttons, Brendan. Down here it's got effect type, so effect point map is an array. So essentially the idea is here in the item builder, instead of just passing in a single one, so for pizza, for example, if we want it to be both health and points, we should just be able to do this. And then here, that should make pizza worth both. And this as well. So that makes this a consumable instant that applies points and health, is a black can, and pizza as well. Tacos will have add 2 health, but get you no points. So there's no points for picking up tacos, but they will heal you a little bit more. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Now that, I'm betting, did not actually die, so we're gonna find out. Yeah, it didn't. The bot just really wanted to live there. So we're gonna go ahead and start this again. Actually, I only changed JavaScript. I don't know why I restarted the bot. That was pointless. And killed by a swarm of zombies. So that seemed to work. Reports back that I died. Okay. And impossible to beat level again. Okay, so here's what I want to do. We need to start making this game actually procedurally generated, not just randomly generated. So that is part of the challenge that we're running into right now, is this code is not, we're not generating this intelligently. What is this? I don't know what to call this branch, so it's going to be more rogue for now. Update some item values, some item effects. So we're going to update some of the item effects there. Now, a couple of things that I want to do based on that is I want to go to our level creation, which is down here, And we are just getting random open locations, which is not great. That's not what we're looking for. We need to create some kind of rule set for these that it can follow. So essentially the idea is, as we go and create a level, we want to make sure that we are following a set of guidelines. And we're choosing randomly from our available options. So... That's a great question. So I asked in the chat, what is my job? Am I a software engineer? And the short answer is I've been a software engineer for much of my career, but right now I'm actually a mentor or a trainer would be a better term. I'm a software engineering consultant. So I do some consulting work for different companies, sometimes mentoring, sometimes training. But yeah, basically a software engineer is a good description of what I do, despite that it is not 100% of what I do. Okay, so these pieces, just creating this, pulling this out. So we need to create these levels based on what other stuff is around us. Items, set location. So items to add, set location to a random location on the grid. Then add it to the grid. Which that's the piece we want to get rid of. Exactly, Boxy Baby. That's the idea. I'm gonna look and see, are there obstacles around me when I place this? So I want to check my row. So I could check my row and my column, and my neighbor rows and columns. I can also check all my nearest neighbors to see if any of them are an issue. Here's what I'm thinking about. Imagine this for a moment. Not necessarily in the item builder, but here's what I'm thinking. And I'm just gonna make a new thing for this. We're not actually gonna. This may not be the method long term. So if we did like create new map, something like that. Let all locations equal Exactly. Yes, Boxy. Yep, you hit it exactly. Make sure that you and your neighbor don't total the grid height is the idea. Because if you did, then you would just say, nope, that's not allowed, pick a new location, and that would make sure that we were always able to transverse. So that was my original thought for how to do that. But I've got a concept here. So we are going to use that as the way to determine whether or not we actually fit into this space. So I kind of want to call this shuffled locations equals all locations. How do you shuffle in what's a quick shuffle? What's their order by called? Sort. There we go. Compare function. Yes. Yeah, Boxy Baby, that was actually what I was originally planning on doing, like a long time ago. I was planning on just doing that to cheat, make sure there was always one path, and there always had to be one path, or you'd recreate the level. But I'd rather create procedurally, and I want to do this with tiled sections, so there are like known pieces that get dropped in an orientation. So I actually want to do like procedurally generated stuff. Sort by random number. Yes, Boxy Baby, we still need a way of checking that, but we would do an approach that just prevented us from creating full-on blocks. So this would be invalid because you can never have two columns next to each other that have 4 blocking obstacles, would be the idea. So we would still do that kind of a check. Here's what I was thinking. Hang on, there were some new array methods added to I don't want fill, because I need it to, I want to create it. No, I want... So here's what I was thinking. What I was thinking is, let's take the full grid and randomly try to place stuff in it. So we'll grab all the random locations and then put stuff in there. That, or we start creating like tile sections. I don't know. We'll do this to start with, because I'm not really trying to make this work just yet. So let's do this. Items are not blocking. These are. So let's alter grid real fast. We're gonna make grid know about this concept for now. For blocking equals false. While this is not clear, okay, or this dot will make impossible. While this dot is clear of enemies or will make impossible. Let's do this instead. Hang on. Well, move is invalid. Random X, random Y. No, not move is invalid. We'll say, random location is invalid. Underscore, and I'll move it to the right spot in a moment. X, Y for blocking. And yes, I will accept new name suggestions and all that kind of stuff here in a second. Hey, Farouk, welcome. It's going well. Hey, hey. Do you still fill the array with 0 array of n keys and unpack it? Boxy Baby, I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I really need to put some thought into how we want to procedurally generate these levels. So and actually, let's rename this again. Is valid spawning location. Since clearly we want to spawn something here. X, Y, X, Y. It's clear of enemies. And it's valid if it's oh, keep going if it is invalid for spawning. Sorry. While it is an invalid spawning location. So let's reverse this. I'm going to make that negate, and we're going to say is valid spawning location. It's a valid spawning location if it's clear of enemies, and it won't block anything. Wait, well, single idea would be to create a predefined blocks as two-dimensional arrays and then try to place them on the foot. Yeah, Boxy Baby, that'd be the idea. Yeah. Yep, you got it. Is non-empty location? Oh, no. So, okay, so hang on. So, is clear of enemies is non-empty location. Yeah. Hang on. I don't think I was super clear on what it is I'm trying to do here. If this is for a blocking thing, and will block path. Turn false. It's not valid for spawning. That'd be the idea. Can add entity here. How about that for a name? Can add entity here. So while we cannot add the entity here, and that's whether or not it's a blocking entity. So we'll say is blocking, which means essentially is if it has a if the thing we're creating has a blocking component, it is blocking, and thus we have to account for that. So derp what is it, Boolean? Is that what it is? Yeah, it's Boolean. Is blocking. Well, I probably have a way of specifying that the default is false. It's blocking. If it is blocking, and will block only path. And will block all paths. We'll do that. That was supposed to be this. Oh, actually, no, it was that. That was my mistake. We were gonna say return what's the quickest way to know that we're not blocking the path? If one of the 8 spaces, if we'll check our columns. We'll check our column and our row. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Can walk on. Yep. Check our column. Column +1 and column +2. Check our row +1, and whoops, row -1. That's supposed to be -1. And we're going to return, return this dot underscore can walk on XY, where X and Y is the location that we're checking in our row. So here's the thought, Boxy Baby. If we're looking at this row, and let's say that this is the last one we're adding right here, because any of these three can block it, right? As long as between this column here and its neighbor, either the one to the right or the one to the left, as long as we don't run into a situation where we have a total of 4, yeah, the height of the grid is variable, but you only have to look at your neighbor still. So that... yeah, because all the debugger stuff is turned on there, Fuel Snable. You only need to check your neighbor for whether or not there's a clear path, because otherwise you could walk around it. So that's the idea. So it's wait, debug is faster? Fuel Snable, I don't have a good answer for you on that one. Something must be changing. You might be something in your settings. Maybe you have things enabled for that. Hang on, I'm derping. Count of blockers. I didn't want a for each loop. Why'd you give me for each loop? I don't know why it's doing that. I don't want that. That's not what I wanted. Why'd you give me that? Okay, 4, I, 0, so this gets me all the items in that. I don't know why my brain's not working today, guys. Count everything in the X on this one. Thanks, Stoolpenner. Herpaderp. And I'm gonna need to rewrite this as a map instead of doing this in a for each loop. If we can walk on I, int thanks, Stoolpenner. Yeah, I had a plan for what I was going to do today, and I'll tell you, that messing with the stream at the beginning of the thing with, like, all of our lagging issues that we've had this whole stream. We're dropping frames like crazy, everybody. I have no idea what's going on. I have to get this fixed before tomorrow. This is absurd. I am like really pissed off at my ISP or someone, because this is just annoying. So we're gonna say if you can walk on that. So if you can't walk on that, then we're gonna increment the row count. Actually, let's call this left row count. That'll be right row count. We're gonna have to write this better in a moment. This is just all my brain's coming up with right now. So we'll make this one check the left, that one check. Whoa! I did not want to click those, guys. Come on. Left and right. So that means that this is y minus 1 to get to the left. Y plus 1 to go to the right, although that's really top and bottom, because rows are top and bottom. So instead of left, that is top row count. Actually, that's up row count. This is down row count. Boxy Baby, this would not account for diagonal movement the way that we're going to check, so a diagonal mover would still be able to make it through. We're going to be more permissive in how much we block, so we're going to make the game more open. So I'm going to say if up row count is greater than this dot underscore this is a row count. This is the count on the row, so we're checking the whole row. So if this is greater than or equal to the maximum number, so if this has as many or more items as that, or if the down row count has it, return true. It will block paths. And then the reverse of this, the opposite, which, yes, this is, I mean, the amount of copying and pasting, this is why we're gonna need to figure out how to make this much better than it is. Don't worry, we're not gonna leave it like this. So this is left row count, left column count. Right call count. And then we'll say if left or right has exceeded the y value instead of the x. And then this is going to be based on the y value, which means that this is going to be x comma I. This will be x minus 1 comma I. x plus 1 comma I. Okay, this should cover this should prevent diagonal movement blocks also, I would think. But we can have it generate a couple of random levels and just make sure. And I gotta hope I didn't get this backwards, logic backwards. So we're saying this will block all paths. So if we're saying this is a blocking entity and this will block all paths and return false, let me see where we generated the level. We only passed that in for the barrels. So the barrels are the ones that should determine whether or not we're actually blocking. That's beatable. Beatable. That's beatable. That's an error. Ooh, that one failed. Hey, B4Law, welcome, hello, greetings. Hopefully the weather's nice in Romania this time of year. But this should have caught it, Boxy Baby. That's the whole point. So I don't think our code caught that. Because that is exactly what our code was intended to prevent. So, so let me take a look. Inside of our grid. Get rid of that. See if we ever catch those. Do we ever? So our left. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, left column count. So what did we get? We found a column count of 4 on the right-hand side. Oh, yeah, that does block. You're right. So I do need to do all 3. Because this is the scenario I didn't consider. That would be considered valid because this would be 3 or 3. And if this appeared further in, that would block me. So yes, Boxy Baby, you are correct. You're going left, right, and up, down, but not top, left, top, right. But, yeah, there are some complex scenarios. Yep. You're correct, Boxy Baby. We have to do it all out. So maybe we should just try to do an A-star pathing to the end and just figure out, can it get to the end? Because really, I think the problem is this. We just need to say row count. So we could go with the short answer, just do this. Instead of having that, we could just get the row count every time, and then this would actually cover. So if we say if row count is greater than that amount, greater than or equal to, so that'll just force us to redraw every once, like, more frequently. So we'll fail to find it more often and have to random select new locations more, which sucks, but should make it work. So that's just going to make us do more work when we're redrawing these. Let's see. Reload. That's beatable. Beatable. that's going to tell us we're going to have to retry it. That's beatable. That was beatable. That is not. This is textbook example again. So, and D95 ANDB, welcome, thank you for following. So here's what I was trying to do: count all the items in these three columns here. When we do this, oh, because I didn't check far enough over, because if we added that one last, it wouldn't have found it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Boxy Baby. No, we got to do it another way. We can't do it that way. All right, well, we tried it that way. It just isn't going to work for us. But basically, what you'd have to do is, after the fact, go through yeah, no, Boxy Baby, I got it. Because we could add in any order. I was thinking, like, yeah, you can't add these middle ones because it's going to catch on these. But yeah, this is a scenario that it won't catch. So there are too many complex ones. So let's skip this. We're going to do it another way. We will generate differently. For now, let me go ahead and do a couple of things. So first things first, we are going to merge this in. Yeah, exactly, Boxy Baby. Yep. Precisely. We'll just do a check and just say, hey, redraw the level. So we'll just do a level next if we find that we got the... Well, no, we just have to do a reset, which we could have do the same code. There we go. Okay. Hang on while it rebuilds. Oh, true, Boxy Baby. And then just re-find a spot, so just check it every time. And, then just re-choose a location at that point. Yeah, that would work. Oh. What's that complaining about? Derp. Hang on. No. 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 There we go. Get out of here. We are now waiting on .NET Core to do its reset here. Alright, it's not gonna die, so we're gonna do that. And sorry if you guys heard that beep. Okay. So let's go to the movable component, because that's where we're going to want to build that. Now, I cannot remember what that search algorithm does because I haven't actually messed with it in years. As I recall, isn't A star the one that Shaky the robot used? Is that the one it used? I don't know. I studied it back in my AI course forever ago in computer science in college. A star search algorithm. Pathfinding. Yep, Shaky. It's Shaky. See? Shaky the robot. We had to do a bunch of Shaky stuff when I was in college. Everybody thinks Shaky's so cool. You could just use the Easy Star library. Easy Star is a JS library. Also, I love their image. That is really, really neat. Use diagonals. Prefer dryland. Oh, that's kind of cool. So we need to give it the acceptable tiles. There's the... Okay. Yeah, I see that. They basically have a grid where you tell it which ones are acceptable. Derp. Derp. Whew, that's actually been a while since it's had an update. Do-do-do-do-do-do. We're going to toss this library into our lib folder. That's going to be the name of it. Oh, that's awesome. I love that the version 0.4.3 files are 0.42. You'll see in a second when I bring this up what I'm talking about. So if we take a look at the lib, I added this, and these are apparently the versions for 4.3. which are labeled as 4.2, so don't ask me, I have no idea why it's saying that. Ooh, it's tab code. Ugh, it's tab and spaces mixed! Oh god, look! Oh, the horror! The horror! Tabs and spaces together. Ugh. That's awful. Okay, so how do we want to get access to that? I didn't actually look at the code. Did it export or anything? Yeah, thanks, Dark Polearm. Thanks. Yep. It didn't export anything, did it? No. No. Yeah, it's Halloween. It's around Halloween. Of course, we're gonna get tabs and spaces living together. Okay, were there instructions? Nope, it just says learn more here. So include it on the page and then just call this to get one. So I will just include that on in our HTML rather than pulling it in as a module, since it doesn't seem to have a nice way to do that. Where's my folder? Why don't I have the folder? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Pages. I forgot that gets moved to the top because that's how that piece works. So we need to duplicate this. Actually, let's just pull it out of here. root. I can just copy it over, right? You gonna let me do this? Development? Nope. You won't let me do it. Okay. Lib, easy star, JS, and then down here I'm gonna say min.js. There we go. Hey Crimson, welcome. You should be able to just use import path to file. We'll try it. I was looking to see if it was set up to be able to be. Lib easy star JS, and then it's easy star JS dash 0.4.2.js, like that. So if you're saying if I do this, then I should be able to just create one of these. Now when I create it, do I do anything with it? Okay, I set the grid after I've made it. So I could give each movable component access to this object, but that seems like I'm creating too many of it. It feels like I should pass this in somehow and only have one per game, but I don't know how it's structured. Oh, it is easy star JS. Oh my god, that is insane. Okay. There, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll put it in the grid. Because this has access to the grid, right? No, this doesn't know about the grid. Movable components don't know about the grid. Since a movable component does not know the grid exists, that doesn't work. Oh, it has the game and the game has the grid. Yeah, okay. That's true. That's true. So we'll say that gets us our easy star. So find a path from a starting location to an ending location. Set grid. This is grid array. Let grid array equal set acceptable tiles. How is that different from setting the grid? Here's the usage. So create a new one of these. That's the grid. Set the grid equal to that. Oh, set the acceptable tiles to whether the zeros are the ones, which ones are the ones that you can walk on. Okay. It just tells it which number was which. Yeah, okay, got it. I was just confused by the name because I'm like, wait, isn't that what we did with the grid? Okay. So now to create the grid. By grid, I mean the two-dimensional array of tiles. Our locations are from 0 to max x. Excuse me. For max x. Go to max x, max y. This will be j. So actually, why am I naming them that? That should be x. Grid array, what is this? So we'll need to create a new array in the other one. And we'll say it equals, can walk on of x comma y, and this needs to be grid array x equals array. Has to be 0 1. Can't be I can't just tell it true false. I was planning on just telling it true and false were the acceptable terms. So we'll say you can walk on a 0 and you're blocked by a 1. So then we're saying the acceptable tile will be 0. But acceptable tiles is zeros. Okay. Yeah, I was just guessing based on what it seemed to say. So this will be start x, right? Yeah, start. Yeah, I played yesterday. We've been dropping frames all day and I have no idea why. Sorry about that. I spent like a half an hour trying to get it to stop dropping frames. I have dropped over 160,000 frames during this stream. It's been really crazy. Okay, so... find path. How does find path work? Why does it do a callback like that? Why doesn't it just return me the path? I'm assuming diagonals are turned off by default and other things like that. Nice, Fuel Snable. Glad to hear it. Alright, we'll do this. Cheating! So we'll pass that back further. I want that to work. I don't know if I have a snippet that automatically does this for me. This returns nothing. You're also going to need to call the calculate function on Easy Star as the last thing that it does before it actually does anything. You should call... Actually checking, you must call the calculate. You should call calculate on a ticker or set interval. If you have a large grid, then it is possible that these calculations could slow down the browser. It might be a good idea to... Let's do this. You guys told me you didn't just do it right in here. Yeah, we're just trying to find one path. So I think you're right. Oh, whoops.
Developers.
Hey, Dan, welcome. Glad you're all here. Welcome, Dan and friends. We're dropping frames today, but we're glad to see everybody's here. Hey, it's Ivy! Awesome. Ivy's rating me. Ivy would normally be here, but welcome, everyone. Glad to see you're all here. Hopefully you're all having a pretty good day. We're doing a little bit of C# and JavaScript. No. Was already dropping frames. But welcome, everyone. Hopefully you can at least hear me while we're doing this. Let's go ahead to our grid, where we have get random open location, and we want to say is for blocking entity. So I want to say if so while this is clear of that, and in addition to being clear, we want to keep going if it is for a blocking entity and yeah, I have no idea what our frame rate's looking like right now, but welcome everybody, glad you're all here. We need to find a path. Hey, CM Griffin, welcome. As long as audio isn't cutting in and out, it's not too yeah, exactly, Dan. It's the video that's mostly slowing down. The audio, as people tell me, has been fine. Hey, yeah. No, have a good one, Dan. Glad to see you. Sadly, I did not make your stream today. I know I was auto-hosting you for the majority of the day. I was auto-hosting you up until my stream started. At least. Okay, so we're saying, while this is clear of enemies, I'm going to put in... I wish I'd kept the code that I'd written before. We're going to say is valid location to place item. We'll say XY. So I want to say, while it's not valid to place an item here, random X, random Y, keep getting random locations to put the item, which could technically infinite loop. So I want to say if which I'm not worried about because it realistically isn't going to happen. I'm trying to put in 10 items. It's okay, Dan. It's okay. I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you. I just been busy. That's all. That's all. Sounds good, Boxy Baby. I don't really like the way this Easy Star is working anyway, so we'll take a look at pathfinding.js in a moment. I didn't reply to your letter. Dan, you sent me a letter? I didn't see what letter. I don't know what you're talking about, Dan. I don't know what you're talking about. It's valid if this is clear of entities. It's not clear of entities, return false. So if there's something there, return false, we can't place on top of something else. Return true. And then in addition, I want to say if something else. Oh yeah. So I apparently missed some Oh yeah. Oh, that explains why Ivy was over there. I now understand, Dan. I now understand. I get it. Oh, and I totally messed up because I apologize, everyone. Hang on, it is my fault. Give me a second. Hang on. Let me see if this works without playing like an ad at the beginning. Are you kidding? There we go. Hang on, I got you, Dan. I got you. Here we go. Sorry, I forgot to do this for you at the beginning of the stream, buddy. We got you. We got you. Yeah, sorry, had to. You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. You know you love it. But yeah. We're not actually going to listen to that whole song because I don't want them to be like, hey, you can't play that song. You don't have the rights to that. Oh, yeah. By country, you mean continent, right, Ivy? All right, so we want to say it's clear of entities, and we were able to find a path. So pathfinding.js was the one you suggested. Let's take a look at pathfinding.js. How does this work? Yep. We need an A-star Manhattan. That is correct. When were the releases? A couple of years ago. Oh, well, luckily pathfinding hasn't changed that much, but that's still kind of annoying. I don't use Bower, so thanks. Oh, hang on. I need to turn my music back on. Dan, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. So let me go ahead and do that. Open that in Explorer. Pathfinding.js. Pathfinding JS. Wait, did I download the right version? Hang on. Alright, I'm gonna hope that I grabbed the right version. We'll find out in a moment if I did. Okay. Pathfinding, there we go. So now we're going to go up here. Instead of importing that, we're going to import this one. Oh, I love it, guys. Nice. Pathfinding JS. Okay. Now, how does this work? New grid. Oh, width, height. Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, I love that. That is nice. That is nice. We'll say pf grid equals pf grid. I think pathfinding grid makes sense to me. And but if all the nodes will be walked through to set with their node. You may also pass in a matrix representing the grid. 0 is walkable, 1 for blocked. Okay. So I'm actually just going to create it down there then, instead of creating it up here. So we're going to create a new one each time, I guess. As inconvenient as that is. So we will find a path based on this. Var path grid equals new pathfinding grid. 10 pathfinders. We want the A-star pathfinder. So we want to find a path from that place to that place. So that's from our start X and start Y to our end X and end Y, given the path grid. What was that? Sourceify! Hype, hype! Thank you for the bits! Much appreciated! You can just pass in the matrix. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna pass in this. So, right there. As soon as I got to the part where it's like, oh yeah, you can just pass in the matrix. Okay, good. That's much better than passing in and figuring out the grid. For the matrix, define previously the path will be. So that's going to give us back the path, so that's the steps it requires to take. Yep, so diagonal movement is false. So that is useful. How do you find the path? Finder? There's the finder, but what's the finder do, guys? Find path. Finder. That was supposed to be find path. Derp. That was empty. This is what I pass in. Path. There we go. Return path. Don't use a callback. What's it get if there is no path, though? Does it come back with... What's it do if it can't find the path? That's all I want to know, guys. What do you do if you can't find the path? Do you return back nothing? What do you do? Which I guess we'll find out. So that gets called up here. So we're going to say if this dot find path is valid to place item there. Thanks, CM Griffin. Yeah, the stuff I copied and pasted in came with this. Good call. It'll return an empty array if no path is found. Okay, cool. Alright, sounds good. So we're gonna say so if its length equals 0, then that means it's empty and we return false, because that means we couldn't find a path. But we need a starting and ending position, and the problem is this doesn't work anymore at this point. Are any of the Microsoft C# etc. certs worth anything out there in the job market? Zovek, it depends more on the company than the specific cert. Some companies do find a lot of value in different certifications. So if you are planning on going independent or getting lots of different clients, that sort of thing, then there can be some value in them. Otherwise, I would find out what the companies near you are looking for. Yeah, so as Twitchlove mentions, even in mentioning a specific one there, it says maybe on that, because it really depends on the employer more than anything else. So hang on. So I'm not going to do it this way. Whoops. Put all this back. I am going to put this back in here. So we're going to say random X, random Y. So while this is not clear of entities, go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to do the pathfinding after we've chosen one, because I need to do it at a different level. So we're going to do our grid dot find path elsewhere at the point where we call this. So that means out here on level. We're gonna say if we're gonna say this dot underscore game dot grid find path it's right here, and then start X, start Y. So we're gonna say player dot, does player expose their X, Y anymore? Oh, yeah, that is a good point, Twitchloft. That is a very good point. Entity would have it. Sorry. Entity is going to have an X and a Y, right? That are going to be in their dot location now. Yep, so dot location X and Y. So what we're going to say is if find path. So we're going to say let player location equal this dot underscore player location, and let exit location equal this dot underscore exit location. And I'm going to shorten that to just player loc, because otherwise this is getting long. So player loc.x, player loc.y, and we'll say exit loc.x and exit loc.y. So we want to find that path. If path.length equals 0, then reset the level. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to say to do reset the level, and I'm going to console log. We need a level reset. Okay. So that might work. Do we even have the game running? We do. Okay, let's do this. Else, just because I want to make sure it worked, log found a path. And we'll print out that path right here. So that hopefully will print out the array of the path. Assuming this code's actually running, which it may not be, because I don't see it there. Oh, only runs on next, maybe? We need a level reset, it says. That's not true, though. We can reach the end. Yeah, it has been today. No idea, haven't been able to fix it. And, sorry about that, school kid DK. My stream's not usually laggy at all, so for some reason today, my connection has just been awful. Hopefully it'll clear up tomorrow. Happy Pip, welcome. Glad you're here. We are working on a little roguelike game in JavaScript that we've been building here. Vanilla JavaScript, all like, you know, not doing anything all that fancy with it. We drew some pixel art, so this is all done by us, not taken from any libraries. That's why it doesn't look all that, you know, well, I think it looks pretty well. Looks like it was made pretty well, considering I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. This is basically like the best of my pixel art. Click advanced and try toggling low latency. That seemed to help me. That is a good idea, Zovek. I have no idea why it's so bad today. Does it just say that every time? Yeah. Seems to say we need a level reset every time. Whoops. Just to make that a little bit more obvious there. So that code's definitely running, but it seems like it's not finding a path at all. So let's go take a look at it. So from 2-2, which that must be the player starting location, to 12-2. So that sounds right. The X would be a 12 and the Y would be a 2. Let's see the grid we build up. So we create this nice grid. Let me drop a breakpoint down there. What's the grid array look like? There it is. Maybe we should be going the other way. Y and then X. I think that might be the problem. I think we might have oriented it wrong. We'll create the Y first, then the X. I might have it backwards. So let that finish, then we're gonna, oops, let me remove that breakpoint and then try running this again. Console's still saying we need a level reset. Actually, we do need a level reset that time. Oh, hey, there we go. So that was it. So I had the X and the Y flipped, and that was it, because that is the path it's telling us to take. So it's now saying that there is a path. So fantastic. It is correct. There is one. And it was like that. And this one has a path as well. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Derp. Game over. I'm dead. I should have picked up the sword. Anyway, it should report back. So there's my ending score, 74 points. So that's what I was able to get. And it is finding the path. So that is actually fantastic. Because that means that we can actually get smart pathfinding in here. And that we didn't have to write ourselves. So, yay. Okay, so pathfinding seems to basically work. When we don't have a path, it tells us. When we do have a path, it tells us. Let's absolutely confirm that that one, it found a path. And we're good. This one... Oh, it says we need a level reset, and we do. Because we can't get past this barrier. So you'll notice there's no way to get to the right. So we need to reset. We can't build that level. Okay. Entity manager.clear. What are you doing in there right now? Entity manager, clear, entities, empty. What empties out the grid? Grid is just using the entity manager. Perfect. So all we have to do is this. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm just gonna decrease the level and then call next. So, this underscore level number. That has one. It's ugly, but it's got a path. That one has one. We need a level reset, and we found a path. And it has the correct number of zombies, too. This is gonna get ugly. Yes, Boxy Baby, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it saves a whole bunch of testing time. But here's what I love about this, is if you look down here, for all these levels, so I died on level 5, so there was 1 up there above. This is level 2's creation, level 3's creation, level 4's creation. It had to reset for level 5 because it would have made an unbeatable level, and then it created level 5 right there. So that actually worked out very, very nicely. So that is not a change, that was creation of a line. So we're going to get rid of Easy Star because we're not using it. Goodbye, Easy Star. There's our pathfinding. I'm going to get rid of our little messages, as helpful as they are. No path to exit exists. Try again. Okay, I think that probably explains what we're doing there, so anybody that sees that gets it. And this is the new method we made. It has start x, end x, and y. Oh, end y, and hang on, I did not actually give it a return value, so let me go up to find path. Can't remember what the types are for this. It's an array. I'm gonna do this, just make sure I don't screw it up. Pass in start location, end location, and then just pull the X and the Y off of them. Yeah, but then I gotta specify what the type is. Start location and location, which we're going to use down here as X, Y, X, and Y. Which means that then when we call it here, we can just pass in from player location to the exit location and get rid of that. And IT girl. IT girl. Nice. I like it. Welcome. Thanks for following. And the return should be, it's array of number. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. I couldn't remember what the type was that I was supposed to put in there.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Yep, as I said, welcome IT girl. Thank you for following, much appreciated. JS doc array. Yep. Hang on, everybody, 1 second. Jolie wants to say hello. Hello, Internet. Hi. Hello, everyone on the interwebs. My name is Jolie, and I am a sweet kitty. He likes to say hello. He wanted the attention. Please don't walk on my keyboard. Or mess up my green screen. That would be appreciated. Nice. Yeah. Everybody use all your cat emotes. JS doc. 2D array. Hey, 2D array. There we go.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Array of a string. Array of number. JKevD, welcome. Thank you for following. Much appreciated. Seems to say this is what we want it to be. Except make that number instead of string. Something like that. Not sure. Someone with tooling that just writes that would be appreciated if someone could check that. Exit location, so try again, and then that. Include, find a path, return said path, and that's include that. Reset level if unwinnable. If no path to exit. Using pathfinding JS. Whoops. Oh, that's ugly. Snuck past you there, buddy. Well, that was a nice death. Okay, so that kind of stuff does seem to work. A couple of things I want to mention. If anybody didn't check, there's information down below the stream for all kinds of stuff. We have a Discord that is full of hundreds of developers, so if you want to talk with me or any of the other developers on there, that is the place to do it. Discord is a chat application that you can use to talk with me about all kinds of different stuff. And also, if you want to contribute to any of our projects, you can find them over at GitHub at github.com/DevChatter. What I did forget to implement, merging items in the inventory shouldn't be too hard to implement. Merging items. What do you mean by merging items, Boxy Baby? Yeah. Increasing the uses of a single item. Actually, I think we're gonna have 2 baseball bats, Boxy Baby. I think you'll have to have 2 bats, and they'll have different amounts of uses left. So I think we will do a new one instead of merging. So I think the way you've got it is the correct way, actually. Either way, a couple of things I do want to mention. If you want to catch our recordings of our videos, you can find them here on Twitch in the video section, or you can find a lot of the archives of our old stuff over on YouTube. Link to the YouTube channel over there in the chat, also down below. As I said, join our Discord if you haven't yet. You can find information for that below the video stream, whatever it is you're currently watching, or over there. And then, in addition to that, if you are interested in learning to code, so if you are one of the beginners that is here on the stream and you want to learn C# on Thursday, we're going to be doing a Learn to Code in C# series. I am finally reviving the Learn to Code series that we did here a long time ago on DevChatter. And as part of our Learn to Code series, what we are actually going to be doing is, so we do follow-along exercises where you guys can learn the language. So we'll have you install the simplest set of tools that we can and have you start programming from scratch, so especially for beginners. But if you just don't know C#, it is a great place to learn it. We're going to be inviting people that have never programmed before, so if you know anybody that is interested in learning to code, send them our way. The link is over there in the chat, or you can find it in the events section here on the stream. So this is our Learn to Code series. We started it back in June. We did a decent amount of episodes. Our most recent episode, you'll find here on the bottom, is our Learn to Code in C# Core, we're calling it. So I wanted to reset the numbering because we are resetting back down to the beginning for anyone that does want that. And you can get a reminder when these go live. So I am going to actually have a pair programmer here. So we'll have another Twitch streamer here on the stream, and we're going to put him up in the corner. We're going to have him learn to code on the stream, so he will be the person, you know, that's able to ask the otherwise seemingly embarrassing question, so that beginners don't have to. We don't want you to feel embarrassed to ask questions during the stream, so hopefully anyone that shows up for that will be able to follow along. But I'm going to be teaching him how to code a little bit on the stream. Should be a lot of fun, so if you know anybody that's interested, have them go to this link click for reminders and tell them about it. But Thursday, November 1st is going to be our first stream. And it's at our regular time here on DevChatter. For anyone that doesn't know, we actually stream 4 times a week here on DevChatter. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Normally our stream is not laggy like this. I have no idea what's going on, but it better be fixed by tomorrow. I may do a test stream or 2 to try and get that working better. I will try to send out information to everybody tomorrow during the stream with what tools need to get installed and everything like that, but it is pretty easy. It's simple, lightweight stuff, and we will help you get started. And with that, I should also mention, if you want to support this channel, I want to make sure that I thank everybody that does help and support this channel, so we are going to first do that by running the credits for the day. And I want to make sure I thank Sourceify for cheering today, as that is always appreciated, and we had a few moderators stop by and help out with the chat. Crimson Green only lurked, I think, but Stoolpenner was here for a bit. I know I saw Katrina towards the beginning, and S&B, and a few others. All these nice people that followed, thank you for following us today. If you are interested in supporting this channel, you do what Q just did, and you subscribe to the channel using your Twitch Prime subscription, or just subscribe the regular way. And Twitch Love, thank you very much for the 132 biddies, see? Thank you, much appreciated, as always. We also have DevChatter Chatosaurus merchandise, like these excellent mugs and stickers and other stuff like that. Feel free to check it out. But we will be streaming again on Thursday and tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow. Internet should be better by then. You'll have to wait about 21 hours until the next stream. But that's about it. So thank you, everyone. Happy coding. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.